my stamping friends. It's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Alberta, Canada. And thank you for joining me today. Normally I would call this my Mystery Monday video, which I am going to call it, but I'm doing this on Tuesday because I had a rather busy Monday yesterday. And I didn't get around to posting it or doing the video. So I am still going to call it Mystery Monday video, but I am showing this to you on Tuesday, August, I believe the 12th today, right? My gosh, half of the month is gone. So question, do any of you use washi tape? I confess I do not use it a lot. I did use it. We had some really cool sparkly narrow washi tape, I think last year, the year before for Halloween. And I loved that stuff. I did put that on a few little Halloween projects and things like that, and that was really cute. But I find it's something that I don't use as much as I should. And maybe you can leave a comment and let me know if you use it. And if you do use it, how do you use it? Do you use it to decorate cards or for different reasons? I'd be curious to know. And having said that, we are going to create a card today using the brand new Extraordinary Flora Washi Tape. And it looks like this. It comes on a roll. And I'll show you exactly how we're going to use this on our project and what it can do. Normally our washi tape rolls are quite narrow, right? But this is, oh gosh, let me see if I can even measure how wide this is. It is about 3 1/4 inches wide. And it comes on this really large roll. So we are going to use this in our project. And I have discovered I love this. This is a really, really great tool to make some great floral accents on cards. Okay, so we'll get back to this. But this is what we are going to make. And this, believe it or not, is that washi tape. So we'll show you how we're going to do this. This particular sample I found from Pam Nichols from Just Dreamin Stamps. I did pretty much follow her colors and things the same, but I did switch up the measurements on my arches, and I used a different embossing folder here in the back, which I will explain as we go along. Okay, so this would be really neat using various different colors. Today we are going to use Summer Splash, which is one of our in colors for the next year. It's going to retire next spring, but it's a really great card for summer. So we are going to use the Summer Splash as our base, and I will post all of these measurements on the post and also on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe to my channel if you happen to check it out on YouTube. Great place to find some older videos as well. Okay, so this is our base, and then we've cut a piece of basic white using the largest die from the Textured Notes dies. So if you all remember what those look like, they are these fabulous squares here that all have a little bit of a different pattern in them. So we have used the largest one here. Okay. And then we will put this down on top of our base. Makes for some great layers, those dies, you know, various sizes. It's really, really cool. Okay, so let's sort of center this. All right, we're going to set this aside, and then we are going to bring out our arches. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I cut these. We did one out of basic white and one out of Summer Splash, and they do use the Everyday Arches dies, which, where did I put them? It is part of this bundle, the Everyday Arches bundle. So we're just using the dies, which are a number of different sizes. So here they are, and I've just taken out the ones we're going to use. Okay, so to do these arches, what I did is for the summer splash, because I wanted this to look a little bit like a picture window kind of idea. So the dies I used, I took out just a random piece of summer splash and I layered. This is the 4th smallest and the 7th smallest. So if you count from the inside out of the dies, what you're going to do is layer these on a piece of summer splash. Okay, you're going to kind of nest them and just sort of, I just eyeballed it to see that there's about the same distance all the way around. You run that through your die cut machine and then this will appear. This is how it will come out, okay? And then for the white, exact same process, except on basic white, we used a different sizes of the arches because we wanted them to be a little bit larger. So this is number 6 from the inside, so the 6th smallest and the 8th smallest, okay? So you're going to nestle those together like you did the others on a piece of basic white cardstock, okay? Run that through your embossing machine and it should come out like this. So when we put these together, they will kind of overlap each other. You'll cover up the stitching on the summer splash, but that's okay. We will still have the stitching on the outside one, the basic white. Okay, so what we're going to do is just add a little bit of Tombow around the edge here of this cutout piece of the die, okay, because we want to just layer this on top of that smaller arch, and this might still give us a teen. I find with the Tombow, even though I'm not a huge fan of liquid glue, for something like this, I thought it was good to use this because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room to position it, right? Whereas our regular Stamp and Seal will just sort of stick down, and if you need to reposition, it's a little trickier to do. So this has a little bit more give to it. Okay, so now we're just going to kind of eyeball this again. I'm going to put, I don't know if this is how Pam did hers, but this is how I'm doing them. Yep, I got a little bit of glue on there, but we'll get rid of that after. Okay, so you're just going to try to position this so it covers up those stitch marks and looks fairly even around the sides. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of go with that. I think that looks not too bad. And then just give it a little press around this white edge, the inside of your arch, just to sort of tack it on top of that summer splash arch, okay? And that's how we're going to kind of make our window. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so then I've got a little bit of glue here, but that will dry. So then what I did is I cut out a piece of the summer splash again, and I ran it through the plaster painting 3D embossing folder, which looks like this. It's a really large one, and it is also on our last chance list, which is kind of too bad because it hasn't really been out that long. But it is on the last chance list, so there probably is a bit of a discount applied to this. So it's a really large embossing folder, great for backgrounds or for scrapbooking as well. So that's the one I used here, and I just cut it. I have the measurements down for this. I think this was cut, I can't even think of what this was now, 3.5 by 2.5, I think. And that's how it came out after it was embossed. So what we're going to do is put this behind here, but we're going to pop our little window up with some dimensionals. So let me just see if I can dig some of those out. I've got little pieces all over the place. Okay, so we're just going to put, I'm just going to use the regular size, but if you wanted to use the smaller ones, the minis, you could. So we're just going to anchor this window, is what I'm calling it. let's take all this off the back. And I can see doing this card like out of our strawberry slush cardstock, or a nice pink, or a lavender, some sort of a purple would be lovely. Lots of different options with color for this one. Okay, so you're just gonna put this on top, making sure that it's covered. Okay, I've got a little spot on here, which we will hopefully, oh, okay, I've got a little bit sticking out here on the edge. So that's okay. We are just gonna trim this off here so it doesn't show. Okay, so it's a little bit recessed. I don't know if you can tell. It didn't actually, I didn't place this very well. I should have done it maybe from this way. I wonder if I could still do that. So hang on, let's try this again. Let's just stick this down, making sure it's on those dimensionals here. And then it'll give you a little bit of that, oops, recess look. I did that a little bit too low now. Boy, I'm not doing a very good demonstration of this, am I? You're gonna think, why would I bother? It's worth it, trust me. I'm sure you guys would do this on the very first try. No problemo. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, so now we are, another option, and this is probably what I did on my sample that I didn't do here, is I put this down on my card first. Wouldn't that be smart, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to put some adhesive back here. Okay, you know what? We're gonna start this over. Let's put this down first. And this is gonna make it so much easier. Don't know where my head was. Okay, so we're gonna try to center this on our base here. Okay, just with regular adhesive. And then, now I hope these are still sticky. I think they are. Then we are going to center this on top. Now, is that just not so much easier, my friends? Yes, it is. My gosh. Okay, so there we go. There is our window. So now the fun part starts, where we are going to add that washi tape. So to do that, because this is about, what did I say, 3 1/4, I cut a piece of basic white cardstock about 3 1/2. Okay, so 3 1/2 as long as you like. Then you're gonna peel this and unroll a little bit at a time, and you're gonna line this up. Let me see if I can put this a little higher so you can see. Put this up here along the edge. Okay, so you're just gonna unroll. Oh my, I'm not lining that up very well. Oh, luckily, it's a little forgiving. Let me start over. Okay. Let me start this way. This might make more sense. Okay, so we're just going to put it here and lay this down like so. And I'm just going to get this tapped down. Okay. All right. And you're just going to lay this down flat and then cut off the edge. Where did my scissors go? They are hiding under everything else on my work surface. Okay, so we have put this on basic white because we want it. Okay, I didn't mount that very well. You would probably get it a lot straighter. But we're going to put this on here. Take your bone folder and just go over it. You can kind of work out any of those little creases that you might have in here. Okay, there. That got rid of them really nicely. So don't panic if it happens to crease a little bit. Your bone folder is magic and will help to get some of those out. Okay, so you see how that's lying nice and straight? So now you think, well, how am I going to get those out of there? Well, we have a die for that. It is called the Extraordinary Flora die, and this is what it looks like. It's one die, and what you do is you line up these images with your die. So let's see, is it this way? Probably here. So I'm using this long leaf here as my guide. So this die, as you can see, will line up perfectly with the images in your washi tape. Is that just not so cool? Right? I think that is amazing that it does this. Great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to slip out to my embosser die cut machine, and I'm going to cut this out. So I'll be right back. And you're just going to line it up in your emboss machine. And you might want to take just a sticky note to tack this die down so it doesn't shift while you're cutting. All right, are you ready to see the magic? Some of these already popped out. However, once it's cut, all of these pieces will just fall out. Okay, so depending where you line this up and how you line it up on your paper, you can always do another pass with your die and just cut out those extra pieces too, right? So you get full use out of everything that you've put down. Isn't that just so great? So now we have a whole bunch of flowers and leaves that we can use to decorate our card. Okay, and you'll even have extra. We won't even need all of these. That's how great it is. Okay, so let's bring our project back, and I'm going to use some dimensionals to pop most of these up. So this is totally random, however you decide you would like to put these on. So I think I'm going to start with some greenery here. And I'm just going to put on a couple of dimensionals. You don't need a ton, just enough to tack it down, right? And if you want it at an angle, if you don't, it's totally up to you. If you want it on the inside or the outside of your arch, that's totally up to you. Like I say, anything goes, right? And I just think this is just so clever, so clever. Because I want to put my rose there. And let's put this image maybe above the greenery. But like, maybe I'll put a double dimensional there just so it looks a little more even. I'll put this one maybe here, like so. What else do we have? We have one like this. Should we put this on the bottom? And there's little greenery pieces you can add between, some little single posy flowers you can add. So it is totally up to you what you would like to do. You can tuck them underneath. You can tuck them on top. Okay. I need another one under here, under my rose. You can use the larger dimensionals too. It doesn't have to be these minis. The larger ones might be a little a little more puffy too, right? A little bit thicker. Okay, so I'm gonna do maybe one more little bud flower at the top, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of greenery in between and see how we like it. Okay, so you can overlap, whatever you like. So that's pretty good. So let's just add maybe a teeny bit of greenery in here. Let's see, under here. Where does it fit the best? I'm not sure. Or do I want it on the outside? Or do I want it? Oh my goodness, there's too many choices here. You can do it wherever you like. Here, maybe I'll just put it right there at the bottom. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. You still have some extra pieces and different flowers if you wanted to add more, but I'll just set those aside. You can use those. You have so many now. You can just put them in a little container and have them on hand, and they'll be ready to go. And so last, I just wanted to add, or not last, but I wanted to add a greeting. So I did happy birthday, and I took this from one of my favorites, which I think I've mentioned before, Simply Said, which unfortunately did retire this year, but I just love how this has just perfect greetings for different occasions. So, and I cut that out with a Stylish Shapes dies. So I am just going to maybe put some adhesive here and a dimensional or two there, just so it sits a little more even. Let's see if my theory works. Where did I put my dimensionals? Here they are. If it's a little bit off, it's fine too. Nobody knows but you, right? If you've done something not quite right, it'll be fine. Okay, so you can tuck this under if you want. I'm gonna try to stick it kind of on top like that. See? Oh, I love it. Now, lastly, I am going to add a couple of rhinestones, or if you have other gems that you would like to use, feel free. Whichever size. These are still an old package from somewhere. How many would I like? It's the cat's meow. I'm going to put one on that little mark I made there. Dimensionals, don't you find they're great for covering up little mistakes or little splotches of things? I find they're great for that. Like here. A little bit of, okay, so I've got 5. I think that's pretty good. An odd number is always nice. And there you go. There is your Extraordinary Flora Washi Tape card. So feel free to play with color on this one. Like I said, I could see this definitely in Strawberry Slush, or even maybe Timid Tiger, or you could just pull out some colors that are in here. It looks like there's a little bit of maybe Lost Lagoon, some of the pinks, and the darker purple pink. What is that? Oh my gosh, my brain is not working today. Yeah, so just pull out some of the colors. Berry Burst, that's what I'm thinking of. So pull out some of those colors, you know, to select your background color, and it'll all just flow perfectly. So I hope you enjoyed that project, and we will see you again next time. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.